I show up and I think I'm going to get a nice room and I'm staying in a hotel and it turns to be, like a little shack. People have posted stories about this kind of thing happening.
They raised $1.5 billion a year ago. I just don't know how you burn through that much money.
Even at a platform where there's value to being first and having a big network, you've got to do it in a way that's sustainable and the unit economics make sense.
We had a fun tweet from our buddy, Modest Proposal. I love his comment. So Yo is a platform company in the hospitality space in India.
Yep.
Got some big SoftBank money. And now what it says here, they are in full retreat in India alone. I mean, they're in other parts of Southeast Asia. Oyo has lost more than 65,000 rooms, or about a quarter of what it had offered to travelers previously. And this is just since October, this past few months. They've stopped selling rooms in more than 200 small Indian cities. They're laying off many employees and slashing a bunch of costs. Now, this is a platform company. It's kind of like Expedia, Booking.com of India, Southeast Asia. What went wrong here?
They've been struggling with, there's two sides, but one is kind of fraud and people putting up either fake inventory or low quality inventory and then kind of misrepresenting that. So people, I show up and I think I'm going to get a nice room and I'm staying in a hotel and it turns to be, like a little shack. People have posted stories about this kind of thing happening. The other issue that they've been having, which is why that number is shrinking in addition to getting rid of bad quality inventory, is they've been basically like withholding payments and accusations that they're not paying on time for a lot of these customers, these hotels and small kind of providers, and losing folks because they're not paying them, basically. So there's a lot of shenanigans, to put it lightly, going on there that has led to them basically retrenching. And they also laid off a bunch of employees, so they're not doing very well financially, which might have something to do with the payments issues. There's definitely some trouble there.
How you burn through. I mean, they raised $1.5 billion a year ago.
Yep.
I just don't know how you burn through that much money. I mean, that's impressive.
Go ask Adam from WeWork.
No, but this is India.
I know. The customer acquisition cost isn't quite the same. They're not buying a bunch of physical retail. It's
having $100 million in India is easily like being a billionaire in India. Maybe even having a few $1 billion in India, just in terms of the purchasing power of the dollar in these parts of the world. I mean, so $1.5 billion. It's a staggering amount of money. They'd raised $3.2 billion in aggregate. I mean, I'm sure they're not about to go belly up and they've got runway, right, and this is a prudent decision to get out in front of it.
They've expanded too far too fast and it seems like they're retrenching. Yes. They've got to get their operations in order, yes, and not just be like growth at all costs. Let's get into every city. You've actually got to build your network in a way that makes economic sense.
In a sustainable and keep the quality at scale, which is hard to do. Yep. We've seen Airbnb come out with more restraints to keep quality supply strong, more checks on hosts, and some more checks on renters, consumers. But it's difficult to scale that fast, that aggressively. It was definitely fueled by SoftBank money. I don't think this company is the same degree of fall off in the sense that this is actually a platform company that was raising money, probably at inflated multiples, but it actually was what it was purporting itself to be, which was a platform company. Whereas WeWork was raising, I don't know if they had platform multiples, almost.
They had tech company multiples as a real estate company, basically.
They didn't have, they had SaaS multiples. They didn't have plaid SaaS multiples. Everyone wants plaid SaaS multiples, but they had certainly SaaS multiples for real estate, renting desk business,
and they were trying to sell themselves as a software and tech company.
On top of that, they were just burning through money, and then now you take literally a 90% haircut on your valuation, and you need more money, and that presents a pretty big problem.
Right. So it's not quite WeWork, but it's another case where basically just pouring capital into something doesn't necessarily help you build a sustainable business model.
Yep.
And even at a platform where there's value to being first and having a big network, you've got to do it in a way that's sustainable, and the unit economics make sense. If you just pour incentives into the system to get more customers and more hosts on, you're going to dilute the quality. and it's not going to work.
Hi, this is Alex from Winner Take All. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave a comment, ask us questions, and definitely make sure to join us on our next live stream.